The last thing you want to wear in Egypt as a man
Or a woman.
is... I'm standing in the middle of the street because I want you to know that I'm actually in the country of Egypt as I film this video. And today I'm going to be answering the questions, what should you wear as a man or a woman when you travel to Egypt? Shalom, my name is No Limit Eddie. I'm a 24-year-old American who's been living in Egypt for the past 3 years. And I've documented every moment of that journey here on my YouTube channel. If that sounds interesting to you, then drop a like on today's video so YouTube recommends you more videos you'll love. Let's go to my apartment and talk about this. Is there a dress code? No, this is not like school where if you're not wearing the right uniform, you get sent to the principal's office, or in this case, as long as you leave your home or your hotel or your Airbnb with garments on, you will be okay. I've seen plenty of Caucasian women walk right by the police, and the police in Egypt are kind of like the military, so I'll try to throw a photo on the screen. But again, I've seen plenty of Caucasian women walk right by the police with their butt hanging all the way out of their mini shorts, and outside of a few long stairs, nothing has happened. So if that was a fear of yours, that like you're gonna get body slammed if they see you like not fully covered up, you can relax that fear. Egypt is chill. While there is no spoken dress code, there are certain unspoken rules that will just make you feel more comfortable and allow you to get a better experience of the country. Me being a man, I'll talk about the male portion.
And I'll talk about the woman's portion.
And if you're like, whoa, the quality of the person on camera really dropped for a second, don't worry, I'm back. That marsupial you just saw on the screen was my older little sister, Cheyenne.
This is your channel, so I'm gonna let it slide, but don't push it.
Anyway, Egypt is a very tourist-friendly country. Just last year alone, they hosted over 14 million tourists. So they've seen it all when it comes to foreigners. And because of how much money tourism generates Egypt each year, they do their very best to make sure everyone has a fantastic time so they visit again and again. And so that they tell others about the country so more people are incentivized to visit. To me, it almost seems like it's in their home training to be very nice to foreigners. And so while you will see local Egyptians dressed up and wearing clothes that is, by Western standards, very conservative, they're perfectly okay allowing you and other tourists to wear what pleases you. Now, let me go ahead and share what the locals wear so you can get an expectation of what you'll be seeing. It's very common to see local Egyptian men wearing a garb and walking around the city. If they're not wearing a garb, then they may just be wearing jeans, a dress shirt, and some type of watch. The younger crowd tends to be a little bit less formal. They tend to be more casual. Some sneakers, some jeans, and a t-shirt, usually with like some type of graphic on there. I would say from my perspective, outside of the fact that they wear garbs walking around the city, that they dress very professionally, even in their leisure times, like they're gonna be wearing like very dress shirts and watches just to go to the mall, and they like to lay on a lot of cologne. But outside of those three things, the average man in Egypt pretty much dresses like the average man in the West.
Now, I would say that this is quite the opposite for the women here. There's a huge difference between what the women in the West wear versus what the locals here in Egypt wear. In the West, we've all seen those clothes where it's super revealing and literally leaves nothing to the imagination. But that is not something that you will really see here in Egypt. The women here dress more modestly, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's quite refreshing. Most, if not all, of the older women here, they wear like the typical Muslim coverings, or they wear some type of dresses. I've never really seen them wear like jeans or shorts and stuff like that. They are typically fully covered, and they dress pretty modestly. For the younger women around like my age group, of course, some of them wear the typical Muslim coverings, but some of them you will see them in shorts, a t-shirt, jeans, and even skirts sometimes, but all of them will either reach the knee or even go past the knee. I don't really see like body parts hanging out, it's usually at the knee or below. The only time that I really see women here wearing very revealing clothing is when they're tourists or they're here for a very short amount of time. But for the people who live here or for the tourists who come and stay, they know how to dress conservatively or just even a little bit more modestly. You won't really see them wearing super revealing clothing.
Now let's talk about what I typically wear while here in Egypt. No matter where I am in the world, I only have 2 types of outfits. One for in the set and one for the city. All right. Now, when I say in the set, that means inside my house and inside my walkable neighborhood. Okay. So when I'm in the set, I'm only pretty much wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt year round, right? Like that is like my go-to outfit. Now, one thing I have added in is walking around with tank tops. Okay, I just did that just the other day. And I do feel like I got a lot more stares. Nothing crazy, but I feel like I noticed it. Okay, could have been in my mind, but I thought I noticed it. Okay. Other than that, I've been okay wearing basketball shorts and t-shirts pretty much all year round in my house, in my neighborhood. Now, when it comes to the city, like, I don't wear the basketball shorts and things like that, not because it's inappropriate, but just because I ride a motorcycle. And, you know, you don't want to fall off a motorcycle in basketball shorts. Wouldn't make for a very good day. So because I ride a motorcycle, I wear jeans, okay? So I just put on jeans and a t-shirt, and those are my typical everyday out and about city outfits. If it's winter time and it gets cold, I'll put on a hoodie, sometimes two hoodies, because it gets very cold here in the winter in Egypt. And that's about it. All right. I typically wear closed-toe shoes all year round. I'm not a sandals person, but the typical Egyptian is wearing sandals. But I'm a shoe person. All right. So I'm always having those on as well. I do have a pair of distressed jeans that have holes in them. I wear those out all the time as well. Never had any issue while wearing them. I actually bought them here in this country. So yeah, you can wear distressed jeans here as a man. And then as well, when it comes to wearing the shorts, they typically sell like European style shorts, so they come up a lot higher. I prefer shorts that are a little bit lower. That's just my style, right? But the shorts they sell here are typically a little bit higher. So when I'm wearing them, they come to about my knees, sometimes above it, right, when standing up. When sitting down, they're always pretty much flooded. But I have worn basketball shorts throughout the city. I wear it all the time if I take an Uber, and there's no problem with that. All in all, dressing as a man in Egypt is not too much different than how I would dress while I was in the States. Now, before my sister comes up and shares what she wears as a woman here in Egypt, I want to go ahead and give you guys this quick message. By the way, it's Eddie here. It's super loud. I'm in the airport right now, but I just want to give you guys a quick message. For those of you guys who are like, okay, I'm in the airport, like I said. How do you travel? How do you do the things that you're doing without ever talking about going to work, without ever talking about having to clock in or clock out for your job or have to ask for time off? Well, I created a free training. It's 10 minutes long, and it's in the description of my video. If you always wanted to know how to make money online, well, now is a really good time to learn. Click the link in my description and put your name and email in and watch the free training.
Now, the same was somewhat true for me as well. I have two different sets of like outfits depending on whether I'm going to be in my neighborhood or I'm going into the city. For me, when I'm in my neighborhood or when I'm at home, I usually just wear whatever's comfortable to me. So sometimes I will wear shorts, and with those shorts, I'll usually sometimes run to the store next door, or I'll go and take my trash out really quickly, and then I'll just come back home. But my shorts aren't revealing. They cover me. Most of my shorts go to either the top of my knee or they cover my thighs. Sometimes I'll even wear my muumuu dresses around my neighborhood, but I drive a moped, so I don't really like wearing them into the city. Even though they are longer, I don't really like wearing them into the city because it's kind of hard to maneuver them on the moped. I don't really feel as comfortable driving on a moped when I wear something like this. Now, speaking of a moped, when I drive into the city, I usually am more comfortable driving with like a t-shirt, jeans, or leggings. I don't really like wearing shorter items just in case.
Now, this is very important. I feel like not enough people know this. The last thing you want to be doing in Egypt is wearing summer clothes during the winter. Look, Egypt gets cold, real cold. The weather reports you see online are not accurate at all.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
During the wintertime, the wind feels like ice daggers. You will need to layer up. Wind reaches speeds above 24 miles per hour here. On those types of days, I'm wearing two hoodies on top of each other, or I'm wearing a crew neck with a hoodie on top. All right? When you're coming to Egypt, if you're coming during the winter season, bring socks, bring shoes, bring hoodies, scarves, beanies, bring the whole nine because you will need it. All right? Egypt gets cold. They may say, oh, it's 60 degrees, but it's going to feel like 42. All right? So just be mindful of that, guys. Another caveat I will say is I'm from Los Angeles, so our code may be different than your code, but even those people who I know who came from colder environments that also live here in Egypt, they also say, okay, during the winter time, like, you need to have some warmer clothes. All right? They don't go as far as I do, but they do have some warmer clothes for that winter season.
In the winter, it gets very cold and windy for me, and I get cold super easily, so I like to usually dress in layers. Most of the times when I go out, I wear two hoodies, jeans, or sweatpants. Very rarely I wear leggings because it's just a little bit too cold for me. And then sometimes I also even throw in a scarf or some motorcycle gloves just to keep my hands warm. To me, layers are definitely a must in the winter or you will not be comfortable.
The last thing I want to mention to make sure this video is very well rounded is this. there are certain activities that you will do in Egypt that will cause you to alter around your outfit just a little bit. Egypt is a very sandy place, and if you come during a time when it's very windy, that sand could end up in your eyes. So if you plan on doing any desert activities, bring some sunglasses with you. While we're speaking of the desert, there also will be a lot of activities where at some point along the process, they're going to offer you one of these scarves. Now, these scarves are amazing. They're unisex, so both men and women can wear them. They protect your hair, your nose, and your mouth from having sand splash all in them when you're doing desert activities. But other than that, that concludes today's video about what to wear when you're here in the country of Egypt. Other than that, that concludes today's video, all right? If you're coming from the West, want to know what to wear in Egypt, just wear what makes you comfortable, you'll be fine. But if you can dress a little bit more conservative, it'll just make your time even more smooth. If you learned anything in today's video, drop a like on it so YouTube recommends you more videos you'll love. See you guys in the next one. Y'all willing. Shalom.